Alright, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. First, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba Shema Mashiach Wamadak Yabushai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First, I want to give a strong Shalom to all the mighty men that's going their labor. They're presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. They're doing all they can to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. They're enduring the elements, the 100-degree weathers, the freezing below codes, and everything that's trying to hinder the work of the Most High. I want to say Shalom, Shalom. I want to give another strong Shalom to all the mighty Akwath, right? The sisters that's reverencing their husbands, being teachers of good things, submissive, and the unmarried sisters as well, being tender, delicate, and on fire for the Most High. Last but not least, I want to give another strong Shalom to all the mighty teenagers and children in the truth as well, doing all they can to make their calling and election sure in the last days. It's Brother Tazamah coming at you with another cold cut through the Spirit. And the topic of this cold cut is titled, right, the prosperity of sinners in this life, right, the prosperity of sinners in this life, the sufferings of the righteous, right, and the fight between good and evil. And Shalom, everybody tuning in to the live stream, Most High willing. T. Sellers, Don Israel, Ancients, New Why. Shalom, Shalom. So again, the topic of this cold cut is titled, the prosperity of sinners in this life, the sufferings of the righteous, and the fight between good and evil. Why? Because, and I believe somebody asked this question, and through the Spirit, a lot of people have questions, and we want to do breakdowns on these videos so our people could get the proper edification. Nevertheless, if you're wondering, what is the prosperity of sinners? Well, the prosperity of sinners is sinners, evil men, men that's into lewdness, right? Adultery, murder, stealings, wicked men. They're going to be able to prosper in this society and be almost like if they're untouchable, right? Just because you're an Israelite, just because Jake is born an Israelite, that doesn't mean he's not wicked. You have a lot of wicked men out here. You have wicked women. The children are even wicked now, right? That's 2nd Esdras chapter 5 and 8. That woman will bring forth monstrous children. Nevertheless, you have the prosperity of the sinners, the evildoers. Why? Because our people, we're a nation of kings and priests. You always used to be in this type of lifestyle. But guess what? Over the time and sin increasing on the earth, our people became more wicked and wicked and wicked. And now they, for some odd reason, it might seem like they're prospering. They're not going through anything. Well, man, if we don't keep the commandments, are we supposed to be punished? Why is it not happening to these people? Why are they not getting punished, Lord? Why are you not judging them? We want to be able to clear up all the confusion and reveal the truth of the matter. So let's kick it off with the book of Jeremiah, right? Let's kick it off with the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5 and verse number 26. All right, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 5 and 26. It reads, "For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men." So you have wicked men in the nation of Israel, man. Not necessarily in the truth, but you have our people in this wicked world committing all type of abominable acts, right? And again, it might feel like they're not being punished or judged for the things that they have done. You have men that go out there and rob people. Literally, somebody getting stabbed up. They might get stabbed up at your workplace. Another person, he's making violent music about killing his own brother. Another man in the world, he's somewhere committing adultery, right? Your pastor is robbing the church. So it's a lot of wickedness going on, man. We're living in 2023, right? Not saying that wickedness is at an all-time high yet, because it's gonna literally continue to increase. But hey, wickedness is at a high level in 2023. You have Jake into Pride Month. You have Israelites, they in the Pride Month, man. They into all of those acts, right? Men with men, women with women. So for among our people is found nothing but evildoers, sinners, ungodly people, people that don't want to hear the law of the Lord. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, the classic, right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 1. Now this is the book of Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 4. It reads, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. See that? So the Lord even called us a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, corrupters, people that don't want to hear the law. You think Jake out there, you think he want to hear the commandments? You think a sister out there on the street, you think she want to hear that she has to put on a dress and she has to wear those stop wearing those lewd clothes? You think Jake want to hear somebody at the work, but you telling your Jay, man, you can't be smoking that weed? You think he want to hear that? You can't be doing drugs, popping pills, selling pills, gang banging. You can't be swearing, right? You can't be doing it. Our people, they don't want to be told what to do, man. They have their conscience, they're already fully persuaded in their mind. They get a certain age, and they say, you know what, I'm grown. Nobody could tell me anything, not even the Most High himself. So this people, they're evil, man. It's really, literally, hey, we work with them. We just gonna say that. It's literally evil men out here. Men that's just so good at evil. They thrive in it. Let's get that inside right. The Lord said, it is a sinner that has success in evil things. In Sirach chapter 20. Sometimes you look back and say, dang, man, how is Jake so good with this? He know how to finesse his brother. He know the right words to say to Eve, right? To get her to come home with her. To get her to come home with him. Our people know what to do in the right moment. Right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 20. Right? Sirach chapter 20 and verse number 9. It reads, there is a sinner that have good success in evil things. So it's a man out there, he's into evil, wickedness, but he has success doing it. He's prospering not only while he's doing it, but he's making it look so easy. Like it's normal for him to rob somebody. It's normal for a sister to gossip. It's normal for Eve to put her so-called baby daddy on child support, man. Our people, they normalize these evil things, and not only are they good with evil, right? They succeed in it. That's what the Most High is saying. So it says, there is a sinner that hath good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to loss. Now, with that being said, seeing that our people are evil, you have wicked men in the nation, outside the Israelites, Jake in the world. These people are laden with sin. You might ask yourself or wonder, well, why is nothing happening to them? You might be in the truth. The moment you came into the truth, your life has probably been a living hell, man. You suffer with a job loss, depression, loss of friends, family members, right? Not cool with anybody, right? Haven't found a congregation yet. Your infirmities, you might deal with infirmities physically, spiritually, Man saying, why am I going through all of these things, yet it's a man out here not keeping the laws of the Most High, not keeping the commandments, into evil, and no evil is touching him. We have to literally clear up. It's a deeper meaning to all of this. Is it unfair? Hey, a man might say it's unfair for that. But guess what? Whoever said the world was fair. We want to be able to clear up. You have to know the precepts dealing with this. Hey, that might cause somebody to fall out the truth, man. They may say, man, I'm done with this truth, man. I might just go back in the world. Right? I've been catching hell anyway. These sinners, they just live it up. You might see Jake commit adultery, and then right after he committed adultery, he hop in his 2023 Mercedes-Benz, and he pull off to his house. That's very nice in the suburbs, right? You might see your friends in the world, they scamming. They got money now. You might see them on social media, they flashing their money. All right, they got guns all out. You might find your old friend. You might be a sister, your old friends in the world, they having a good time. Going to the club, getting martinis. They're enjoying themselves. So-called blessings are coming their way. Well, guess what? Not all blessings is from the Most High. You don't think Satan could give you gifts, blessings, things of that nature? So you definitely want to be content. Nevertheless, you want to be able to know these precepts and the prophecies. Right? Let's go to Malachi. Let's kick it off with Malachi chapter 3. The classic. Right? It's the book of Malachi chapter 3 and 15. Right? It says, and now, I'm going to start at 14. Malachi 3 and 14. Ye have said, it is vain to serve God. And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? Before the Lord of hosts. That's what certain Jakes say, man. What profit is it keeping these commandments? I haven't got no blessings yet. My life has turned upside down. It says, and what profit is it that we have kept his ordinances, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? Because you might, when you come into this truth, ultimately your sorrow increases due to your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding increasing. Right? Let's get that real fast in Ecclesiastes. Let's get that in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse, let's see what I want. Verse 16. It's like your verse 18. It says, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. So you might come into this truth, you're increasing in sorrow, you knowing the prophecies. Man, Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed. All of the sorrow, all that book that you ate up, you feeling that bitterness now. That's how Jake was, man. They walking down with their head, man. Oh, man, I got to fast again. Man, do I really have to pray? I don't even feel like praying, man. So, man, I got to go to count. Man. So I got to call off work to do a giveaway. Man. Right? Man, I don't have any more money anymore. I'm doing this and that. That's what Jake do, man. He put his head down and he try to walk mournful like this truth is a burden. Right? Read on. Verse 15. And now we call the proud happy. Yea, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt God are even delivered. See that? And I mean, it's true, man. Esau is the most wickedest man on the earth. But guess what? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. That's why he has these big... Who would have ever thought that the evilest men on the earth, physically, carnally, they're rewarded the most? Esau has banks set up. The so-called Rothschilds, they don't even have to pay for anything. They could walk in the store get a bag of chips, and literally go out. It was in a documentary. They could go in the bank, do this, that, and walk out with no money. They don't need money. They get what they want. You see these top skyscrapers, these Ferris wheels, these top mansions, these big houses. And that's Esau. How much more for Jake, man? Right? Jake has a little something. Jake really don't have as much as Esau. Nevertheless, you might see an evil man driving a nice car. You might see the old men or women you used to hang with. It's like they're prospering. They're getting a promotion at their job. More income is coming in. Right? You might see your old friends in the world. They taking trips to Jamaica. Doing God knows what. Taking trips to the Dominican Republic. Just to get on all of the sisters there. The women. Right? Smoking blunts. Doing God knows what, man. You might, hey, Fraser, you see the pastor, man. The pastor, it's some wicked pastors out here. Creflo Dollar, for example. Guess what? He just bought a jet not too long ago. Probably about 2 years ago. Right? He bought a private jet. So the Lord is saying what? These men that tempt the Lord and into wickedness, they're going to be set up. Why? Because ultimately now is their time. Right? Now is their spotlight. The shine is on them. So you don't want to get caught up saying, man, hey, a lot of Israelites in the truth, they want their time to be now, man. They want to have, hey, they want to get in, they want to have the kingdom now. Right? They want to be at the top estate. They want to have the best of clothes, the nicest, the finer things. Guess what? Hey, our time is, if you in this truth, our time is not now, man. We don't want this stuff now. Right? Let's read on. It says, verse 16. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. See that? I'm going to come back to Malachi chapter 3 and verse 16. That's a good precept. Right? Nevertheless, let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 73. Let's get into the wicked. Psalms, chapter 73. It says, Psalm 73 and 1. Truly God is good to Israel, even to such as of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. Now this is a psalm of Asaph, right? And guess what he said, man? Hey, I almost slipped in this thing. Man, I don't know what I was thinking. I was tripping, man. I'm tripping, right? For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. So Asaph, guess what? The same thing that you see right now, that you're experiencing right now, men have been seeing that 2,000 years ago. The Lord said in Ecclesiastes chapter 1:10 on down, guess what? There is nothing new underneath the sun. Ecclesiastes 1:9 through 10. Nevertheless, men been going through these things thousands of years ago. So Asaph, guess what? He said he was tripping. He caught himself being envious at the foolish. And that's how it might get sometimes. You might have those thoughts of what it would be like, right? If you was doing this, if you was still with them in the world. Not that you want to have these thoughts, but guess what? We're in the flesh. You might see, again, the paparazzis, the bright lights. You might think about the time how you was the man in the world. Everybody looked up to you. You was popular. You was the man. You was the man of the party, right? How you was this. You might have been a basketball player. You probably could have went pro. You was a professional boxer, right? You was a D-boy. You might think and reminisce on these different times, and you might start getting envious at the foolish. Nevertheless, you want to rebuke that immediately. You don't want to catch yourself slipping and tripping, right? Reading on. This is what Asaph said. He said, "For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." Yeah, you might say, well, man, they're not in trouble like us. Man, these people in the world, they not going through what we going through in this truth. Man, they not catching hell like I am for the Lord. And you might say it. You might think that in your head. Man, these people, they're not going through the furnace of affliction, right? The hour of temptation, manifold diverse temptations. They're not going through these things. Guess what? The Lord said they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. On a deeper level, you have to remember who the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. So our people have a misconception that catching hell, affliction, going through trials and tribulation is bad. These people in the world, they deem that as having a bad life. If somebody was in the world was to hear the story of Job, they would say, man, what an awful life. Man, I don't want to live like that. But a man of understanding, he's going to say, man, that's the best life to live. Man, Job is blessed to go through what he went through. Why? Because you know the precepts. You know the prophecies. Right? Reading on, it says, "Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish." Hey, that's what Jake. Hey, Jake got that now, man. Again, at the end of the day, we know that these things are nothing. But hey, Jake so-called, he might be well off. Again, nice house in the suburbs, making a nice amount of income. Our people, sometimes they really believe they have more than they could wish. You got to think about it, from the time of slavery to having nothing, to having all the technology now, right? The finer things. Jake, he's going out, he's eating shrimp locks and steak, right? He maybe travel to Asia. Jake, he has what? More than his heart could wish. It says they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his people return thither, and the waters of full cup are wrung out to them. They say, how doth God know? And is there knowledge with the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. These people are prospering in the world every single day. Whether it's an upcoming rapper, a model. You have so-called OnlyFans now, right? Where women can literally show their bodies and they get paid off of it. Thousands of dollars, right? It says who prosper in the world, they increase in riches, right? But this is what Asaph said, verse 13. "Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain, and washed my hands in innocence. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning." Right? You might feel like that. You might feel, man, just came up two-day, 3-day fast. Right? Your life might be in so-called shambles. Hey, your woman, she might commit adultery and sleep with another man. Your kids might be disobedient. They rebelled against you. Since you've been in the truth, your life is continually to fall apart. You might feel like you're being chastened every morning. Demons are trying to hop on you more. Spirits are trying to increase on you. You might have these thoughts. These thoughts might linger on mine. Right? Reading on. "For if I say I will speak thus, behold, I shall offend against the generation of thy children. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me, until I went into the sanctuary of God. Then understood I their end. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. thou carriest them down into destruction. So Asaph, he might be just like you. Salakia. Asaph, he might be just like you, right? You thinking these different things. But guess what? He said he didn't understand until he went into the sanctuary of the Most High. And on a deeper level, the sanctuary of the Most High is this Bible, these scriptures, these precepts, the knowledge of the Lord, prayer, fasting, understanding the prophecies. It says, verse 19, how are they brought into desolation as in a moment? They are utterly consumed with terrors. As a dream when one awaketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image. Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins. And this is not the only account of our forefathers feeling like this. Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras, right? Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 3, and verse number 1. It's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 3, and verse number 1. In the 30th year after the ruin of the city of Babylon, it's like after of the city, I was in Babylon and laid trouble upon my bed, and my thoughts came over my heart. Right? This is Esdras speaking. It says, for I saw the desolation of Zion, meaning he saw the siege, right? How Jerusalem got destroyed, right? By the Babylonians. You had 3 sieges. Nevertheless, he's seen the destruction. He's seen the desolation, the famine, the mourning, the woe, the temple being burnt, right? And he's thinking and meditating on it. The lowest state of his people. It reads, and the wealth of them that dwelt at Babylon. So while the Israelites were at a lower state going through it, right, at the bottom, he saw the prosperity of those men that was at Babylon and the great wealth there. They were probably rich, abundant. All of the gold of King Solomon that was in the temple was stolen. It was brought to Babylon. They saw all of the gold, the music. When you look into the 7 ancient wonders, you have something called the Gardens of Babylon, if I'm not mistaken. You had the beautiful gardens, right? And how the trees was overhanging. It's a so-called monument. But you had that, the women there, the nice wine. Everything was flourishing there. Verse 3, and my spirit was sore moved, so that I began to speak words full of fear to the Most High and said, so your spirit might be moved. And you seeing the prosperity, wicked, it might vex you. You might get upset, angry. Those spirits might overtake you. You don't know what to do. Something you don't want to have in the truth is that reminiscent spirit. You don't want to have that spirit of you reminiscing on the things you could have had, who you used to be, the accomplishments. That's what Jake get over on. They get off on just talking about the accomplishments they did in the world. Their bucket list. Well, I did this. Then I did this, and the third. Then I did da-da-da-da-da. That's all Jake get into, man. And evilness. Nevertheless, you don't want to have that reminiscent spirit. Because that spirit is going to overtake your thoughts. And the Lord said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so does he. Eat and drink, but his heart is not with thee. In Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 7. So you don't want to have that spirit or those thoughts is going to overtake your mind. Next you know, you're going to be back in the world, man. Those same people that you was envying, right? Those same people that you seen prospering, the evildoers. Man, how did he get that woman? Guess what? You're going to be one of those men. For having those thoughts linger on mind. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 12. right? It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, and verse number 1. It says, righteous art thou, O Lord, when I plead with thee. Yet let me talk with thee of thy judgments. Wherefore doth the way of the wicked prosper? Wherefore are all they happy that deal very treacherously? So Edris saying the same thing. Asaph. Now it's Jeremiah. He's saying these evildoers, why are they so happy? You go outside, Jake and Eve, they having a beautiful time at Mardi Gras, man. They going to Florida. They drinking martinis. Jake and Eve, they act like, well, they don't know the prophecies, but they act like this world is not coming to the end. They act like they don't see the back-to-back blood moons. They not thinking about, they don't know about those things. You think those people are happy? Mirth is in their heart. They're rejoicing. They're eating and drinking. They're living. You only live once. They having that YOLO spirit, right? Jake said, "Hey man, you only live once." Our people have that YOLO spirit, and it might be like they're prospering. They're happy. It says, "Thou hast planted them, yea, they have taken root. They grow, yea, they bring forth fruit. Thou art near in their mouth, and far from their reins. But thou, O Lord, knowest me. Thou hast seen me and tried my heart toward thee. Pull them out like sheep for the slaughter, and prepare them for the day of slaughter." See what Jeremiah said? Hey, now bring this to your pastor. Let's set this on the day. Say, hey, pastor, can you break down this verse? Hey, Jeremiah said, destroy those men. Let those men be prepared for the second coming of Yahushua. That's what Jeremiah said. Jeremiah didn't say, you know what, Lord, you did bless them. They are prospering mans. Only if you could do that to us, and it's true. Right? It's only right. No, the Lord, Jeremiah said, let those men be prepared for the second coming of Yahushua, for the day of doom, the day of slaughter. Jeremiah wasn't reminiscing, although he wasn't being envious at the prosperity of the wicked. Now you might be wondering, well, hold on, why is it set up like this? What's going on? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse number 14. It reads, I'm going to start at verse 11. It's a mean chapter. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Right? Because somebody might commit a sin. Right? You might go off in this truth. Right? You might backslide. You might relapse, fall short. Nevertheless, our people, they go off every single day. Just because it's not, a lot of brothers and sisters, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You want to have that type of mindset. It could go well with you. Nevertheless, but a lot of brothers and sisters just think you commit let's say if I eat pork right now. A lot of brothers just think, oh yeah, that brother, he's going, Lord, why didn't you cast judgment? Why didn't you kill him right then and there? He just ate pork. Jake might commit adultery. Lord, why didn't you kill him right then and there on the dot? Right? We always talk about, you had this one Eve, she came up to camp, she stick the middle finger up at us because we told her son that he had to repent from his homosexuality. Now, a lot of brothers was like, hey, Lord, why didn't you strike her? She just flicked off the servants of the Most High. Why didn't you strike her down with lightning right then and there? Hey, guess what, man? Just because a sins against an evil work, it's not when you want it right then and there, because it's not executed speedily. For some odd reason, our people got in their head that it's okay to keep doing it. The Lord didn't judge me right then and there. It says, therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Little do they know the way. You have to know you have to know your creator. The Lord, I mean, he can do it. But he might not always execute a judgment speedily. One characteristic about the Most High, he gets up with you when you least expect it, man. Read 2 Kings chapter 11 and 1 with Italia. Did he get up with her right then and there? No, he got her when she least expected it, man. When she didn't expect the Most High to judge her. So our people believe that because, okay, Jake got in and said, hey, those brothers said the Lord is going to kill me. Well, I didn't die yet. Let me continue to smoke this blunt. Let me continue to dodge in folly. It says, verse 12, though a sinner do evil 100 times, right? Man, God knows how many sins our people commit a day. Over 100 times, right? Our people, man, we ourselves, we sin. We have secret sins, secret faults, Salakia. We have sins that we might not know we have committed or we looked over. So how much more for our people willfully sinning? Man, our people probably sin, man, you can't even put a number on that. Maybe over 1,000 times a day. The Lord said, though a sinner do an evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, and he's continued to live. He's continually to make money, get to the bag, do as he will, right? It says, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before God. So the Lord is saying, hold on, right? Because you got certain jakes, they think like that. Man, well, this man, he's going off this many times. Well, Lord, why you ain't judge him yet? But guess what? Just know it's going to be well with those that fear the Lord. And for those that fear not the Lord is going to get up with them when they least expect it. And it's going to be right on time. Just because it's not on your time, guess what? We're not working on your time as a man. We're working on the Most High's time. The Lord said, he shall not prolong his days, which are as a shadow. If you see a shadow in a wall, you could literally move your hand like that and it's gone. You see a shadow in the night. Somebody take off down, just run down Michigan Avenue, and this is just a shadow. So, I mean, you have a shadow, which is here and there. That's how the wicked are, because they fear not the Lord. Reading on verse 14. It says, there is a vanity which is done upon the earth, that there be just men. Meaning, King Solomon, he's thinking about because King Solomon was the wisest man of all time. So he's meditating and he's looking on his experience through his life. And he's thinking, he said, you know what? This is a vanity. It's a just man, a man that's repenting every day, praying every day, a sister that's reading every day, dressing in modest apparel, being respectful, keeping her spirit clean through fasting and praying, a man keeping the commandments, that there be just men unto whom it happeneth according to the work of the wicked. Again, there be wicked men to whom it happened according to the righteous. I said that this also is vanity. So this is a dark sentence, for lack of a better term. What King Solomon is saying, what a righteous man is receiving what evildoers are supposed to receive. And you have evil men, instead of receiving evil for what they're doing, they're receiving what? Righteousness. They're receiving the reward of a just man. That's what he's saying. And he said, guess what? This is a vanity. Meaning, man, what the hell is this? This is crazy. Right? Man. But guess what? That's how this world is set up. Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 8. This world is not made for the righteous. You think this world is made for us, the Israelites, trying to keep the commandments? You could barely bring out a Bible verse with somebody getting emotional. right? This world is not for us, man. You have all type of witchcraft here. You have while you are sleeping, you have people literally throwing up death curses. They're throwing up curses on the Israelites, right? They throwing up curses. You have people in the school system, they teaching the kids about homosexuality. You have lust at an all-time here. Everything you see is sexual. Literally everything. So this world is not created for us. We as Israelites, we have to get out of this mindset of still, a lot of brothers and sisters, they still want to enjoy they feel like they have a life here. You don't have a life here anymore, man. The moment you came into this truth, you gave away your life, man. Who did you give it to? You gave it to the Most High God. Right? You don't have, it's nothing here for you, man. What's name one thing in the world that's here for us? Right? Just name one thing. What you gonna say? A car? A house? Clothing? Right? Joyfulness? When you literally examine everything and you have experience with it, you're gonna surely find out that there's nothing here for you in this world but evil and sin. Now, if you want to do sin, right, you want to do wickedness, guess what? The world is the place for you. But this truth is only for the godly men and women that want to fear the Most High's name and keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? Let's read this. 2nd Esdras 8:1. And he answered me, saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few. So this world is this world, present world, you have something called the elder world, right? You have the present world and you have the world to come. 3 worlds, it's multiple worlds. Now, the elder world, our forefathers, they lived in the elder world. The present world, this present world is not for us, man. When you read 1 John chapter 2 and 15 on down, you read about the lust of the flesh. The pride of life is in the world, right? The evil eye. All of that stuff is equated with this world. Adultery, witchcraft. But the world to come is made for few. We want to make sure we're a part of those people that get the world to come and not this present world, right? Let's get that in. Let's go to 2nd, man. That's a lot of precepts thinking about. Let's go to 2nd Timothy. Right? Let's go to 2nd Timothy chapter 4. Let's go to 2nd Timothy 4 and 10. Right? It's the book of 2nd Timothy chapter 4 and 10. For Demas have forsaken me, having loved this present world, and is departed unto Thessalonica, Crescens to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia. So you had Demas, who was laboring with the Apostle Paul, but he fell out the truth, and he loved this present world, which is nothing full of darkness. You don't want to be like Demas, having love. A lot of brothers, so you still have deep down inside, you might not want to admit it, but you still have a connection to this present world. And you want to cut that off, man. You don't want no connections with this world. Or, well, if you don't cut that off, guess what? The Most High, he's going to cut you off. You can't, no man can serve 2 masters. Let's get that in Matthew chapter 6 and 24. Right? Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 6 and 24. No man can serve 2 masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. So no, you can't serve 2 masters. You can't serve this world, right? You can't serve the spiritual demon Satan, and then the next day you serving the Most High God, you keeping the commandments, and then you just you have transition days where you serve the spiritual demon Satan and wickedness and evil. Then you try to act like you in the truth and keep you can't do that, man. You have to pick one. You have one choice. You're either gonna serve God and keep his commandments, Or you're going to be like the moss and you're going to love, deep down inside, you're going to love this present world. You can't love both, man. Right? You read all throughout the scriptures, Wisdom of Solomon 3:19, the Lord called this an unrighteous generation. It's like an untoward generation. Right? You read and let's go to let's see the other one. I believe that's Matthew chapter 12. Right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 12 and 34. O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart, it's like of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So the Lord called this a generation of vipers, sneaky men, conniving men, evil men, wicked doers. Right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7. Right? Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 15. Right? Ecclesiastes 7 and 15. And it reads, all things have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is again, this is King Solomon. And he has, the Lord gave him certain knowledge of the things that are. That's Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 and 17. So with that being said, if King Solomon is saying, you know what, since I've been on this earth, this is what I've seen, guess what? Hey, we will want to hear that. Now, we're not listening to old school or Jake or school. He's saying, you know what, in my lifetime, we're not listening to that man that's in the world. We would rather hear what King Solomon has to say about his time being on the earth, what he has seen underneath the sun, the experiences, what he went through, was profitable and was not, seeing that this man is the wisest man on earth. Nevertheless, this Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and 15. All things have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is a just man, meaning a righteous man, a godly man, a man that's fearing the Lord and keeping his laws, that perisheth in his righteousness. And there is a wicked man that prolongeth his life in wickedness. So again, this is all throughout the scriptures. This is the world you living in. You living in a world where the righteous die young and the wicked men, they die in old age. Where a righteous man dieth in his righteousness, and the wicked man prolongeth his wickedness, his wicked days in wickedness. Let's go to Sirach chapter 9. Right? Let's go to the book of Sirach. That's how the Most High set it up. It's how it is. Now you can't say to the Lord, Lord, why did you do that? Right? What made you think of that, Most High? And you can't question the Most High, man. Everything that the Lord does is pure and is right. All you could literally say is all praise to the Most High. Again, a wise man, he's going to understand that. But a foolish man, he's going to be angry, start cursing the Most High out. You got brothers that do that. They flipping over tables, asking, Lord, why did you do this? And guess what? You can't question the Lord, man. Right? He's in the heaven. Let him do that which pleaseth him. Paraphrasing. Right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 9 and verse number 11. Envy not the glory of a sinner. So again, you don't want to be envious. You don't want to want what a sinner has. So what that he has more? He might have more clothes than you. Might be more financially stable than you. He might be more healthier than you. You might have physical ailments, things with your knees, your legs. He might have one up on you. He might be better than you in this world. He might be more popular than you. He might have more women than you. That sister might have more followers than you, right? More likes and views, more so-called going for herself. But you don't want to be envious. Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember, they shall not go unpunished until their grave. So the Lord said, don't envy that person, because you don't know what you don't know what his end is. You don't know if the Most High has a horrible death set up for that man 2 weeks from now. You don't know what's gonna happen for a year from now, right? It's people literally that I've been with in the world. Some of them, they dead now, man. Recently, whether that's 2 years ago, a year ago, they died. Some of them, they still getting money to this day. They still doing evil acts. Nevertheless, I don't know their end. And those men that I did see, I didn't know that they were going to die one day. Long behold, the Most High had it set up for them to be rooted out the earth. Right? So what the Most High is saying, guess what? Don't worry about those men. That's what he's saying. Our people, even some of us in this truth, we still have that spirit of, oh, what's going on over here? What's going on over here? Looking on the things of others. Hey, the Lord said, don't worry about those men, those evil women, those evildoers. But hey, best believe, hey, you better fear the Most High. Hey, you better keep his statutes. You better keep his laws. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 23. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, and verse 17. Let not thy heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long. Guess what? You don't envy sinners, but you better be in the fear of the Lord. Because you're held at, when you in this truth, you're held at a higher standard. You're not held at the same standard as these worldly, evil, unrighteous men. Right? You want to be in the fear of the Lord. You don't want to have your heart meditating on those things. Because again, for one, there's nothing here in this world for us. Everything is temporary. We know the prophecies. And if you don't, you want to search the scriptures daily to inquire of those prophecies and those precepts so you can have your mind balanced out. Because again, it's nothing here for us in this world but destruction, damnation. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Right? Salakia. Let's go to let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Right? Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse number 17. It says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So the Lord said, whatever that you're going through, the Lord said that this is light work. This is light affliction. And the Most High said, this is light work. You might not think it is light work, but when it's all said and done, it is light work. It's not the same thing that Job went through. It's not the same thing that Yahushua himself through the Gospels went through. It's not the same things that these men of old, godly men experience. We're not going through half the things that our forefathers went through. The Lord called this light affliction. Reading on. Verse 18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. So you don't want to be the man or the woman. You're looking at everything you could physically see. Don't be carnal. We're not looking at these things that we see. We're looking at the things that we don't see. What do we don't see? We haven't seen Yahushua. We haven't seen the kingdom. Right? We haven't seen the angels. We haven't seen the Most High. We haven't seen Jerusalem paved in gold. We haven't seen the innumerable multitude of angels. We haven't seen the glory and the dominion in the kingdom. So we want to look for those things. We haven't seen a place where it's no so-called black on black crime. Name one place you could go where it's not where the curses of Deuteronomy 28 are not in effect. We haven't seen the blessings of Deuteronomy 28 yet. Those are the things which are not seen. It says, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal. You heard that saying in the world, everything is temporary. Well, it is. This shirt, right? This house, the technology, this phone is temporary. The women is temporary, right? These men are temporary. The cars are temporary. Anything you could describe or think of that you could physically see, all of this, the lust is temporary. Even sin itself is temporary. All of this stuff one day is gonna pass away. It says, but the things which are not seen are eternal. So name all of the things I just mentioned. Those are the things that we can't physically see, but those are the things are eternal. But where the Lord said in, I believe that's Luke chapter 12 and 34, where your heart is, there also will your treasure be. God, this is Luke chapter 12 and 34. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So you have to ask yourself, where is your treasure? Is your treasures on this earth? Is your treasures on the south side of Chicago? Is your treasures in Atlanta? Right? Is your treasures in Arkansas? Is your treasures at the club? Is your treasures on social media? Right? Where is your treasure at? Or is your treasure in the heavens? Right? The Lord said, lay up in Sirach 29 and 12, lay up alms in thy storehouses. Right? For it shall, let's get that real fast. That's your true treasure, man. Your treasure is in the third heaven. That's the reward. It's up to you where you have your mind at. A lot of people, their mind is not where it's supposed to be. Let's go to Sirach chapter 29 and verse number 11. Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold. So you want to lay up treasures in the heavens through the Spirit, right? That's where your treasure want to be, and you want to have your mind up there as well. With that being said, seeing everything is temporary, the evilness of the sinners, not envying the sinner, not envying your worldly friends, your family members. We have to now embrace the affliction. We have to find out the matter of these things. We have to accept reality for what it is. What it is your life in this truth is not going to get any better. Things is not going to continue to get better. Things are going to get harder and harder and harder until you literally come out as fine gold. Again, you have King Solomon. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 1. King Solomon, he lived to be well over maybe 56 years old when you go into it. Nevertheless, his time being on the earth, he knew that these things were vanity, were temporary, and that you should have treasures in the heavens. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse number 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, said the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. So he was to the point where in his mind he said, you know what? Everything is vain. Everything is going to come to an end. One day, most men, all is going to perish. The things we have now is going to be laid up for another man. So when you have that mentality, your mind starts to change and you start to think different. You don't think like the rest of the people. Your mind is meditating on the precepts or on the ordinances of the Lord, the commandments, right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes 2 and 17. Ecclesiastes 2 and 17. Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me, for all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yet I hated all my labor, which I have taken under the sun, because I shall leave it unto the man that shall be after me. So King Solomon, he understood. He got it to the point where he said, man, I hate this life. I don't even want to be here. Lord, take me out the earth. 'Cause everything I'm doing is going to be laid up for a man that's at a lower state than me. A fool, right? An evil man, a wicked doer. Now, you don't want to get to the point where, well, a lot of brothers just think this truth, we just have to suffer. We have to be angry all the time. We have to be upset, mad. No, brother. But your joy should be off serving the Most High. You have something called the joy of thy salvation, right? That should be your joy. You believing that you're going to be saved one day. The joy you get from doing what's right, from keeping the commandments, right? We was just going over this yesterday through the Spirit on a leadership call. Your joy to chiefly see the brothers and sisters in this truth wake up, growing. Hey, that's our joy. If I see a brother increasing, he's coming into the truth, a sister, she's building herself up. Hey, that's our joy, man. Seeing our people, your children keeping the commandments, knowing the knowledge of the precepts, serving the Most High, the joy of the church. Hey, that's the joy, man. That's the joy that I get from the church. Right, let's bring that out in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 16. Right? Salakia. 1 Thessalonians. Right? 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 19. For what is our hope or joy or crown of rejoicing? And you might say that. You might say, well, in this truth, what is our hope? What is our joy? What are we supposed to do? Supposed to be sad all day, looking for the prophecies, meditating on nothing but evil and woe? It says, are not even ye in the presence of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach at his coming? For ye are our glory and joy. So when we see the nation of Israel get beamed up, the same people we were teaching, and we see them get into the kingdom before us, guess what? That's our joy. That's our satisfaction. We're satisfied. If I see another brother make it before me, all praises to the Most High. Right? Another sister make it before me, all praises to the Most High. That's our joy. We live in this truth to serve the commandments. And there's no better feeling to indulge in fearing the Lord and following his statutes. No other feeling, man. Not the feeling of sin, evilness, lust, concupiscence, triumphs, the fear of the Most High, and that hedge of protection around you. Right? Let's go to the book of Romans chapter 8. Right? Romans chapter 8 and verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. So if you are that brother, that sister that's out there, that's suffering, going through hardships, distress, the Lord said that the sufferings of this present time, the things that you're going through right now, you can't even compare that to the reward that's going to be in the end. That's what the Lord is saying by the hand of Paul the apostle. These things, you can't compare the glory in the kingdom of heaven to these little light light work, present sufferings. And you want to remember our lot is to suffer, right? You come into this truth. The Lord said that's the only way you're going to get into the kingdom. Let's go to Acts chapter 14 and 22. You are not going to get the kingdom by sitting around on the couch watching Israelite videos all day, right? Only cooking, only preparing for the Shabbat, and that's it. It's wearing your hair wrap when you want to, praying when you want to, sitting around, right? I was talking to a brother about who's meditating on this. It's damn near a commandment to be on fire. It's damn near a commandment, because if not, how you know if you're going to make your calling and election sure or not? And you really have no choice, because it's a lot that comes with it if you're not. Nevertheless, this truth is about embracing sufferings. That's the only way you're going to get into the kingdom. This is Acts chapter 14 and 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of God. The only way you're going to get the kingdom is through much tribulation, much sorrows, blood, sweat, tears. This thing is not going to be handed to you. So you don't want to envy Jake. Don't want to envy the people of this world and to the rudiments of the world. You want to embrace the Lord and his commandments, because it's a blessing in itself. And you want to literally go through much tribulation so you can enter into the kingdom. If Christ didn't go through what he went through, guess what? We wouldn't be here right now. You would still be in the world, and your iniquity and your sins. The Lord had to what? He had to suffer many things. Let's go to that in the book of Luke. Right? Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 17, and verse number 25. But first must he suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. So you will have to first suffer many things and be rejected. That's what Christ did, man. Christ, he suffered many things. The life of Yahweh Shai wasn't a sweet, pleasant life. The Lord wasn't riding around in the nice horses, right? The chariots. Yahweh Shai wasn't doing that. It was grind time for him. And he's seen the prosperity of the wicked. He's seen the evildoers. He's seen that manifold temptation. And he knew that's something that he didn't want to be a part of. And you have to make that decision. Are you going to continue to envy the people of the world? Reminisce on who you used to be? Your past life? Things you indulged in? Are you going to press toward the mark? Let's jump down to verse number 33. Luke chapter 17 to 33. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. So again, the moment you came into this truth, you lost your life for the Lord's sake. A lot of brothers, they still try to save their old life. You have to lose it, man. Who you used to be, that has to be in the past. Gone like a shadow. Because if you seek to save your life, meaning this life of your this present life, you're going to lose your life in the kingdom. Now, if you lose this life, you're going to preserve it in the world to come. The choice is yours. Let me get one more precept before we close out. Let's go to the classic. The book of Philippians, chapter 3 and verse number 13. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before. And that's the same mindset we have to have, the same mind of the Apostle Paul, forgetting everything behind us and reaching forward for those things that's before us. Forgetting the things you used to do. Again, your past life, all of your old iniquities. the things you used to indulge in, and you have to look forward. That stuff has to be out of your memory. You have to look forward to what's before you. Alright? But with that, we're giving all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach Wamadak Yahushua. Most High willing, this video was edifying. Continue to read, pray, fast, and study. Most importantly, beseech the Heavenly Father for his mercy. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.